To release means to let go. One of the main reasons that people have difficulty using their creative power is because they don't trust that it works. If you don't trust that it is working, you will be unable to release your thoughts and you will continue to worry about whether it is working or not. Whatever we think about, we bring about. So if you are worrying that something won't work, you will create the very result you fear. It is like planting a seed in the ground and going out to the garden every day and digging it up to see if the seed is growing. At some point, you must release the seed to the ground and let it go. Someone once asked me, what is the hardest part about creating what you want? My reply was learning to stop figuring out how you will get it. If you try to figure out how you will get what you want, you will limit yourself to what your ego or conditioned mind can do. The key to creating what you want is to turn your desire, or your goal, over to your subconscious, which is connected to the universal mind or universal subconscious, and let it bring the goal to you, and you to your goal. The creative principle or creative impulse of quantum physics will draw everything that you need to make your desire a reality, but you have to release the desire and let it go. The more you are able to let it go, the faster your desire will manifest. Don't get confused here. You are still going to use your goal setting, affirmations, and visualizations to support your desire, but you are not going to worry about how it will come to you. Release means to know that once you speak your word, the process of creation begins, and whatever you desire has already been created, and is on the way to you. The goal setting, affirmations, and visualizations are designed to keep you focused on the end result. If you are clear on how the creative process works, you will naturally expect a result. There is no way that it cannot work. You are using the very same creative process out of which everything that has ever been created has come into existence. Remember, there is no delay in the universal mind. The only time factor that exists is between your speaking your word and the acceptance of your desire. Now that is worth repeating. The only time factor that exists is between your speaking your word and your acceptance of your desire. If you experience delay, it means you still have apprehension. If this happens, affirm to yourself that the subconscious is acting creatively on your thoughts, and that you expect to see results. If results don't appear, and there will be times they won't, it simply means you've done one or more of the 5 steps incorrectly. It takes a little practice. Just repeat the process until you see results. Recognize that the negative conditions you are experiencing in your life are only distorted thoughts that have taken form. Thought is the cause, and the result or experience in your physical universe, or in your life, is the effect. Consciousness creates results. The purpose of the consciousness conditioning exercise is to replace a false belief system with the truth. Your subconscious mind must picture what has been given to it in some form. Thought not only influences form, but it also actually becomes form, or effect. The combination of your conscious and subconscious mind is called consciousness. Consciousness is always the cause of everything in your life. The effects or results that you produce in your life will always be equal to the cause. So before any effect can be changed, there must be a change in what caused it. Again, the cause is always consciousness. Ultimately, there is nothing in life but cause and effect. Everything that we experience in life is the result of a cause that we've set into motion. There is always action and reaction, sowing and reaping. The law of mind works with mathematical precision. It is imperative that we understand the importance of consciousness. Techniques can always be learned, but consciousness must be developed through right thinking. Consciousness is the unfolding of the real self or higher self within. An example of how consciousness works can be demonstrated by the thousands of salespeople who buy courses in salesmanship. Many of them wonder why their study of these courses does not lead them to produce a significantly greater volume of sales. The problem is that these courses teach the externals, and, to a great extent, tend to be manipulative. They teach how to approach the prospect, how to arouse interest, how to guide the interview toward a decision, and how to close the sale. But the most important consideration, which is consciousness, is omitted. One must build a consciousness model before one can be truly creative. In this case, the salesperson must build a consciousness model of what he is willing to give, what he wants to receive through the sales process. I once gave a course in salesmanship to a sales organization in a large city. At the beginning I explained I was not going to teach them the mechanics of selling. They had already completed several courses that had taught them that. Said I was going to teach them how to construct a consciousness model to develop an inner attitude or a mental blueprint that would enable them to sell without being manipulative and without effort. Several weeks after the conclusion of the course, the organization I had worked with reported that their sales had increased over 40%, and that everyone who had attended the program had experienced a substantial increase in production. They also agreed that this type of training was the most beneficial because they had learned to deal with cause instead of effect, and consciousness is always the cause. Power flows to the focus of attention. At this point, I think we need to discuss the difficulty of constantly maintaining a positive attitude. As human beings, subject to the limitations of our belief system, we find that in spite of our earnest desire to maintain the highest level of thinking, negative thoughts continue to creep up on us. It sometimes helps to understand this important statement. Power flows to the focus of attention. Let me repeat that. Power flows to the focus of attention. An example of this would be if you stood in your front doorway and looked steadily at the number on your neighbor's house directly across the street. You would see that the number in the house is very distinctive because you're refocusing your attention on it. But even as you look at it without moving your eyes, you would be conscious of other things on either side of the house. Those other things become increasingly vague as they stretch out more to the right or to the left of the house number that is the focal point of your attention. Let us examine how this relates to the thought process. You have a central consciousness and a marginal consciousness, just as you have central vision and marginal vision. In your consciousness, there are those things of which you are vividly aware. These are your dominant thoughts. In your marginal consciousness, there are those things of which you are vaguely aware. The marginal thoughts, even if they are negative, do not control your behavior. What controls your behavior and your life is your central consciousness or your dominant thoughts. Now pay attention to this. You will have a tendency to attract those things that you love, fear, or steadily expect, that is, those things that you're holding in your central consciousness. Please read it again. The purpose of the 5-step creative process is to change your central consciousness or your dominant thoughts. It is a statement of your beliefs and knowing. You see, knowing is higher than believing. Knowing means that there is no doubt. You have total certainty. You can have beliefs, but beliefs can still be accompanied by doubt. When you know something is true or real, you have no doubt. Not the slightest. You know that when you speak your word with conviction and authority, there is a definite movement in mind, a direction to accomplish a definite end. That what you desire is already accomplished, even before it appears in your physical reality. You know that the law of mind is obedient. It is as obedient as the law of electricity. It is worth repeating that knowing is always higher than belief, and the best possible results are produced when we know and declare the truth about ourselves and others. So the 5 words that create results are relax, recognize, realize, reason, and release. Let us put them together in a consciousness conditioning exercise that we can use as a model. Here then are the 5 steps combined into one process. The first step is relax. Choose a method that works best for you. Allow your mind and body to fully relax for 15 minutes. The benefits of total relaxation are enormous. After you are relaxed, you may proceed to step 2. The second step is to recognize. You would say, I recognize that there is only one universal creative mind. The third step is you would realize, and you would say, I realize there can be no separation in universal mind. Therefore, my mind is part of the universal creative mind, and when I speak my word, universal mind acts upon my word without hesitation. In the fourth step you would reason. So you would say, I am convinced my word has power. I firmly believe this, and I now speak my word, that, and you would affirm your end goal or result that you desire. The fifth step is release. You would say, I release, I let go, and I allow the creative universal mind to work through me. No past mistakes hinder or obstruct me. Procrastination and interference do not exist in my life. There is no delay in the universal mind, and I therefore know and expect results right now. I am willing to give up anything that hinders my desire.